Today is the final day of our online virtual Pride for Peterborough 2020, brought to you by Embrace Events, Inclusive Peterborough and Inclusive Church Peterborough. And have we got a fully fun-packed day lined up for you. We have the amazing Linda Bacardi coming to us live from Brighton, and following her we have the one, the only, the one that I've been waiting for all week, the grand finale of the show, the wonderful Miss Tissue. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have our acts at Embrace Events. It's down to Tissue, who helps and provides us with all the acts we get. So thank you, darling. Hats off to you. So yes, and we have following our drag acts that we have planned, and we have the fantastic DJ Slinky Amy, who will be going live on our page straight after we come off air at 7 o'clock this evening. So to stay tuned for that. That's going to be amazing. If you've ever been to Freak Out Fridays, or if you were at Pride last year, you would know Amy. She's a DJ that got everybody jumping and going out on Bridge Street outside the town hall. So yes, we've got a very fun-packed day for you all. Anybody like my outfit? I'm dressed green today. Green for nature, because today I'm feeling like I'm a force of nature. You know, all green everywhere. Some people may be thinking of the green giant sweet corn because I'm dressed in green, and you wouldn't be wrong. That's where I got some of my inspiration from, but he didn't wear glitter like me.
James thinks you've had a bit of Irish.
I am a bit of Irish. I could twerk a little bit of Irish like that if you want me, darling. How you doing over there? Where are you calling from? How are you? How can I help? So I'm just going to start off by doing a track which I think is quite appropriate for the colour scheme that I'm wearing today. Some of you may know it if you're a David Bowie fan. Oh shoot. Sorry about that, everybody. We fell out the socket. And that's going around like that. Right. Can't really see me. I'm going to get a bit further back, maybe. Turn it around slightly. That's it. Anyway, we're going to try and do this. Hopefully it comes out okay, and I'm not yesterday. Cool. Okay, are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? You may know this. That's not the one. Right, gonna go back. There we go. Here we are. I was walking down the high street, and I heard footsteps behind me, and there was a little old man shuffling away. Well, he trotted back to my house, and we sat beside the telly, with his tiny hands on his belly, chuckling away, laughing all day. Oh, should we put you to the home office? Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, I'm a lovely gnome and you can't catch me. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, I'm a lovely gnome and you can't catch me, said the laughing gnome. Well, I gave him roasted toadstools and a glass of dandelion wine. Then I put him on a train to Eastbourne, gave him a fag, gave him a fag. Oh, wrong way round. Yeah, where do you come from? Oh, really? In the morning, when I woke up, he was sitting on the edge of my bed, with his little loose rainbow bread. He brought him away to sing me a song, quite a dear. Yeah, what's that clicking noise? Ha ha ha! Hee hee hee. I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. Ha ha ha. Hee hee hee. I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. Said the laughing gnome.
Haven't you got a gnome to go to? Didn't they teach you to get your hair cut at school? You look like a rolling gnome. Now they're staying with me, and we're living on caviar and honey. Cause they're raising me lots of money, buying government clothes for radio shows. It's the gnome service, of course.
Hee hee hee. I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. Ha ha ha. Hee hee hee. I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. Said the laughing gnome. I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. Said the laughing gnome. There's a lovely little tune to kick things off for you. No, some people watching are thinking, what on earth is that? You may never have heard of it before, but if you're a David Bowie fan, then you would know what song that was. It's on the 1970s something, or one of these albums. He's got so many albums out. Now, oh God, I'm exhausted after that little outbreak. Oh, bloody gnomes, eh? They drive you mad. Oh. So yes, coming up just at 4:45, we have the lovely Linda McCarty. But before that, we have Langley. Well, I've lost my bit of paper. Before that, we have Langley Mackerel Hay. I'm just going to put my glasses on.
Reverend Doctor.
Sorry?
Reverend Doctor.
He's a Reverend Doctor from the Methodist Church. I'm just going to read out here. This is coming up at I haven't got my watch on because it's charging next door. The time is 20 past. It's coming up in about 10 minutes. 10 past. There's 12 past. Yeah, Langley Mackerel Hay is on at 4:30. Langley is here to update us on love and marriage in the Methodist Church. If you haven't been following the recent developments, it's definitely worth a listen. So tune in. Yes, he's going to be talking about being able to get married in the Methodist Church and how things are changing from before. If you have been following, has it been in the news? Kind of.
Some of it was last year, some of it is happening now.
Okay, some of it was in the news last year and some of it is actually happening now as we speak. It's being spoke about. So yes, that is definitely worth a tune in for Dr. Reverend or Reverend Dr. Langley Mackerel Hay. And then coming up after that, I keep saying it because it's my lovely sister from down south. And down south we have the lovely Linda McCarty, who's going to be performing for us for an hour between 5 and 6. And then following that we have the amazing, the fantastic. If it wasn't for this lovely queen, we would not have met our shows or our artists, our drag queens that we have at Embrace events. It's the lovely Miss Tissue, who's going to be coming on at 6 and entertaining you up until 7. And then after that, we have the amazing, the superstar, the super talented DJ Slinky Amy, who's going to be banging out and busting out those hot dance tracks and those lovely EDM, trance, house beats you love to dance to. It's going to be quite cool. I know she's already set up and she's raring to go. I'm going to do one more song for you all now. If you just bear with me, I'll get it lined up for you. So yes, a bit of a luck of the Irish today, someone has already said. But I am green for nature, because today, my darlings, I'm feeling like I'm a force of nature. This is day 6 of drag for me. And you would obviously think that I'm running out of outfits. Well, truly, I'm not. I have a whole wardrobe full of clothes, and it's just a case of deciding what to wear. So yesterday I just literally just saw something bright and sparkly, and I thought, why not just go for something green and top it off with a bright ginger hair. Now, this hair, darlings, is over 20 years old this week. This used to belong to my mummy Jenny Popalicious in London, until I saw her out in the club one day, and I was like, Mummy Jenny, I really love your hair. And then I ended up scalping her, and she gave it to me, bless her. She's all recovered now. She has a Mohican, so it wasn't that bad. I know. It's not doing bad for over 20 years. I had a wash and a blow dry this morning, and that is the truth. I washed it in the kitchen sink. Not kitchen, the bathroom sink, should I say. So yes, I'm going to do another little song now for you. Now, everybody must know this song. It was first released in 1978. It's become a very, very gay anthem around the globe, around the whole world. You play this song, everybody knows what it is. Are you ready? I'm going to just get up again and just push this up there without trying to knock the camera off this time. And it moved on its own, so that's okay. Oh, look at me, I'm right in the centre. Cool. Are we ready? Are we steady? Let's do this, girls and boys. And everybody else in between. Come on, I want you up off your seats, and I want you to do the motions with me. I can't see you, but you can see me. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself up the ground. I said, young man, don't you run into town. Don't need to be unhappy. Young man, there's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you shrug on your glow, I didn't stay there. And I'm sure you will find ways to have a good time. You ready? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Everything you can get to enjoy. You can have with all the boys. YMCA. YMCA. Come on, girls. Simply, you can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, are you listening to me? I say, young man, what do you wanna be? I say, young man, you can make your dreams, but you got to know this one thing. Are you all by yourself? I say, young man, but you're right in the shelf. Yes, stay there. To the YMCA. Ready? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for you meant to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. Yes. YMCA. YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, I was once in your shoes. I said, Thomas, I was down with the blues. I said, no, yeah, I was alive. Well, just so tight. Then someone came up to me and said, Yahweh, take a walk on the street. It's a place called the YMCA. They can't stop you and your way. Ready? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything you can have to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the
YMCA. Young man, need to get down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA. YMCA. Young man, listen to me. Young man, who you wanna be? YMCA. YMCA. No man, young man, doesn't go by himself. Young man, put yourself on the shelf. YMCA. Oh, God, I'm not as fit as I used to be. It's hot in here under all these sequins. And I wish I could just walk around stark naked, but I can't because this is a family show. And that is another show for another time called In Bed with Miss Crackers, which is going to come up, it's going to premiere when I can be asked to film it. Oh, says I'm going to have another little take a seat now. Thank you. What time are we at? Is it coming up to time for Langley Mackerel Hay? Going to be doing a talk. Huh?
We've got 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. So, let's go over, for everybody that we've had, I am going to be doing some thank yous at the end to everybody, but let's just have a quick recap of what we've had since Monday, as this is the last day of our online virtual Pride, apart from tomorrow, where we're going to be having our Pride Convoy Parade, which is going to be meeting up at the Key Theatre and ready to leave the Key Theatre car park at 1 p.m. tomorrow. I know some of you got a bit confused yesterday when I said 12:30, but I did think that would be a time that people could start meeting so you don't miss us. So if you start gathering from 12:30, that gives us half an hour to sort things out. So yes, if you have any flags or anything, oh my God, I'm melting today. It's very humid and muggy today, isn't it? I'm not complaining that the sun's out, but it's really hot when you're sat indoors. Oh, jumping around. Oh, with loads of equipment, a big telly that's like a radiator. Oh my days. So yes, anyway, tomorrow at 12:30, if anybody wants to start gathering at the Key Theatre car park from 12:30, we will be leaving the Key Theatre car park at 1 p.m. Now, I've got a few rules that I need to share with you about tomorrow. First one being, I'm looking over here because that is...
Only share a car with somebody in your household or support bubble.
Okay, only share a car with somebody from your household, or if you're lucky enough to have a support bubble and they drive, that is okay. You can get into their car, but do not jump and swap over and get into each other's cars for when you're in the car park, because that will be going against all the rules that the government have set out for us. And secondly,
make sure your flags are fastened securely to your car.
If you have any pride flags like what I've got behind me, or any of these sort of flags, make sure they are secured to your vehicle securely, because the last thing we want is for them to come flying off while we're on our convoy and then causing an accident on the main road, which wouldn't be too good, would it? So yes, please make sure your flags and all your pride decorations are secured to your vehicles properly. Thank you. And thirdly,
You want me to invent another one?
oh,
We're not going to go more than 50 miles an hour.
okay, and look, I thought there was like 5. I thought we had at least. And thirdly, we will be going at the speed of 50 miles per hour, going around our route. I'm going to quickly explain the route to you. From
from the Key Theatre car park, we're going to be coming out the exit, going round to the roundabout. Literally round to, here's round to the roundabout, and then we're going to be going towards. We're going to go behind the cathedral in the car, where the road goes behind the cathedral, towards the Boongate roundabout. The Boongate roundabout, and then we're going to come off at that exit around the parkway, go round, left, until we get to the slip road that brings us to the top of Borges Boulevard. And then it's straight down, past the bus station, past the old Toys R Us. Most of you would know where that is, which is becoming in Iceland apparently. So past the bus stop and back to the Key Theatre car park. So yeah, I can't stress enough, please make sure that if you are taking part, that you are within your support bubbles or your family members that you feel confident and safe enough to mix with. When we're in the car park, if you can please stick to your own cars. We don't want people getting out and jumping into other cars, because that again is going against the rules that the government has set out, and we are trying to do our best to abide by those. The last thing we need is for us to get any complaints or any of our members who are taking part to obviously catch COVID-19. That wouldn't be very nice. So yes, please make sure you stick to your own cars. I know I'm melting, my eyebrows are melting off.
Look on Facebook for information about music.
Yeah. And Vicky has put some information on Facebook. Is it in our groups?
It will be in about 10 minutes.
She is going to put some information on our pages and our groups. That would be Inclusive Peterborough, that would be Embrace Event Presents, that would be Embrace at the Ostrich Inn, and the Carnival of Love, Peterborough Pride 2020. If you remember that was from last year, but obviously we've kept it open, so we've got a wider broadcast for when we do things like this. Look out for that with some rules, and that's going to be a description about music, whether you want to use our music that we'll be playing for a Zoom room, whatever, but that will all be explained in the post on Facebook if you want to keep an eye out for that. I'm looking at my watch, that isn't there because it's run out of battery. And we've got 2 more minutes. So what can I do in 2 more minutes? I was going to go over what we've had over the last week, wasn't I? So since Monday, the lovely Teddy the drag queen, who's from Peterborough, opened for us with the lovely Phoenix Hart and myself as guests. That was remarkably well. Thank you again so much for taking that day and making it fabulous, Teddy. You did a grand job. And then on Tuesday we had Jane Ozanne, speech, and we had Lucy and Bonnie from Cabaret from Cancer, who wrote a song which we're going to play again a little bit later if we have time. We had lovely, fantastic Hazelnuts. She provided us and did a fantastic show. That was very cool. Thank you, Hazelnuts. And we had a phone-in chat and tribute to Lyra McKee. That was very, very interesting. That was very good. If you took part in that or got your questions in or watched and was educated or anything like that. And we had the lovely Susie Irons, who we've seen a couple of times on her guitar work that she does. It was fantastic. She's a member of Inclusive Peterborough. Thank you, Susie, for your contribution. And then we had the Pride quiz. On Wednesday, we had Fizz Wallace, the Fizz Wallace Band. Thank you, Fizz Wallace, for your contribution towards Pride this year. It means a lot. And again, if we have time, we're going to show it again a little bit later, the one of you in your band. Then we had Ed G Teen, Mama Bear, Vicky, and Charlie Geneve, all on Thursday. And then again, we had the Ozanne Foundation interview. And yesterday, okay, I'll come back to yesterday after we've gone to the 20-minute video of Langley Mackerel Hay. Please enjoy, stay tuned, it's very educational.
In 2016, 8 men and women were invited to join a task group looking at the Methodist Church's response to marriage and relationships.
The first meeting was quite, I went to it with apprehension.
I was afraid that we wouldn't be able to reach a consensus. And I was also afraid because of the prejudice and the discrimination that I have faced in my ministry and in my life as a gay man. And those have been very painful places for me.
We knew each other really by where we stood in a position. Because all I knew is there were 2 members of the LGBTQI plus community. I'd never met them. They were just on this panel because they represented that particular body of people. Now, we were then wary of each other.
The change came about because we got to know one another. A very seminal moment, perhaps a year in, we were staying overnight at Cliff College, and that really helped, eating together, being together. And we knew we had to make a big decision about one of the major issues in the report, and we shared communion together, and then we went round the room and each person said what was on their heart. And that was a very significant moment, a moment where the Spirit, you could palpably feel it at work.
The group, as it developed, had a particular rhythm of life. We were making sure that we were people for whom Scripture was important. We made sure we looked at some of the difficult passages and didn't ignore them. We didn't always agree. But also then, as we wrestled with Scripture, not just as a tool for the task, we took Scripture as our guiding point. We studied Scripture together, we read Scripture together, we prayed together. And at times, as we were around the table, it felt like holy ground.
There's often a misunderstanding with people about the task we were asked to do. There's an assumption that we were specifically looking at marriage and marriage only, and then even more specifically, whether or not the church could allow same-sex marriage. But actually, we were asked to look at what it means to be a human being, I think. Why are we created? To be in relationship with God and with each other. And then, how does it roll out from there? In terms of all the many different expressions of relationships, in our families, with our friends, with people we fall in love with.
And I think now, as we reach the end of this process, there is 100% trust between the 8 of us around the table. We know each other well. I've developed some people I would now call lifelong friends as a result of this work together.
One of the results of this consultation was the production of this wonderful study guide, God in Love Unites Us. Members of the Methodist Church have been discussing and studying this document for the last year. Those of you who are avid readers of Pink News would have seen this headline almost a year ago. UK Methodist Church overwhelmingly votes to move towards same-sex unions. The UK's Methodist Church has taken a step closer to embracing equal marriage after members overwhelmingly backed a measure that opens the door to same-sex unions. On Wednesday, July the 3rd, 2019, church members at the Methodist Conference in Birmingham voted overwhelmingly in favour of a policy that could lead to the church embracing same-sex unions. The motion, which passed 247 votes to 48, consents in principle to the marriage of same-sex couples on Methodist premises and by Methodist ministers, probationers or members. The vote does not automatically mean same-sex weddings are permitted. However, as the proposal will require a second vote at the July 2020 conference. The Methodist Church is the UK's 4th largest Christian denomination, with around 180,000 members. Of course, with the COVID-19 crisis, the July conference suffered similar problems to our Pride event this year. We thought we'd speak to one of the local Methodists to find out where he stood and what he thought was going on. Just first of all, you better explain who you are and maybe a bit of introduction about this T-shirt.
I'm Langley. I'm the Superintendent Minister of the Peterborough Circuit, which is the collection of churches that meets around Peterborough. It's quite a wide area, so we include Whittlesea, we go as far out to Oundle, we're in the centre of the city, and also kind of Crowland, so quite big. And yeah, the T-shirt is To Infinity and Beyond, which is I like the T-shirt, but also it kind of, people spend about 10 minutes trying to work it out, and then they go, oh, I got it now. So yeah, so that's me and my role really. Yeah, so I look after all of the staff that we have in the Methodist Church, and I kind of oversee what all of our local preachers are doing and encourage development in churches. So that's my remit really.
Do you want to tell us where you are on the inclusion journey?
So yeah, that's really interesting, because I think we've come a long way. We'd be a lot further ahead had it not been for the coronavirus pandemic, because we had been on a journey where we were looking at the question. The initial question came up about, should we allow same-sex marriage? That was the kind of, and that's been a question that has rumbled on for ages. We've done a lot of work, committed in a dialogue to listening to each other. And then there's a report written called God in Love Unites Us. But the good thing about the report, the church had looked at it really honestly. Well, how do people live their relationships today? We are, for example, marrying people, and we know that they're having sex before marriage. We've got to be honest about that. And then that was kind of tied together with an honesty about LGBT plus and being open to people's experience there and issues of inclusivity. So it is actually more than just the sort of same-sex marriage thing. That's what I find really exciting about it. And the other thing that's really exciting about it is, what struck me was A, people's openness, B, people's respect for others' points of view. The thing that we sort of stumbled across is that we can think differently but love the same. And also in all of those, including those who sort of struggle with the issues, there was still this, to the point that people are in tears, to the point that we don't want to see anyone feeling prejudiced against or unable to be themselves. And so a really good example is this couple. They came to Midnight Communion, and I said from the front of the church, it was a meeting, it was really good to see them. We are welcoming new people in. It wasn't really a reference to their kind of sexual identity, but it was just good to see them. And then this lady in the back, and I don't want to do her an injustice, but she would say that she's elderly. She stuck her hand up and she sort of went, can I just say a word? And I thought, I thought, what's coming? And she said, I was brought up to believe that it was totally wrong for people to be gay, she said. And when they first came here, I was really negative, but having seen how much they've given to the community and how much they love people, she said, I've completely changed my mind. And I was like, nearly in tears. So there's stories like that. And the other stories are perhaps not the same, but an honesty about people saying, I want to change how I think. But I'm really struggling with this because I was brought up culturally that the way to believe that it's wrong. I struggle, but I'm struggling with it, but I'm not going to stand in the way. But it's the respect that's going on in the conversation, I think, even though I'd yearn for it to move forward. I mean, shut me up if you want and when you want, Vicky, but I think I find myself in the place of I'm on that scale of, open and wanting to affirm. And it's quite a difficult place in leadership, because I can say from the front, yes, and it's pretty difficult for people to receive any other message. I mean, I am positive. I have worn the pride flag before. I'm quite open about my feelings, but at the same time, you hope that being positive doesn't put anyone off who's genuinely struggling, who would like some support. So it's a kind of, but I've been really encouraged by the tone of the conversation. That's my experience anyway.
Do you want to tell us something about the friends you had at college when you were studying to?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it was interesting. Some people would say, have you got any friends that are gay? And I said, well, no, I've got friends, and some of them happen to be gay. It's just like, And when we were beginning to look at the issue, it's never really come off the boil, but when we're beginning to look at the issue again, I sensed a nervousness in the church, like suddenly if we were going to say something positive about LGBTQ plus, if you said something positive, we would be overrun by people who would be flooding the church, as if there are 1,000 Graham Nortons at the door. And I would just go, if only, please. But what I found is that people were part of the church community who were already gay. There were two ladies who were very friendly to me and would say, can we pray for you? What do you need? We will pray for you. Every day we pray. What? And then I suddenly realised that these two ladies live in the same house. And then I realised that they were really close. And it was clear that if anything happened to either of them, the other one would want to be in on the equation of sort of supporting each other. And it is a loving relationship. And then beyond that, I kind of thought, and I'm not trying to be crude about it, but I thought, well, I'm not going to ask what's going on underneath the sheets. It's none of my business, I was being really honest about it. But yeah, there was another one as a friend of mine who was at college. He wrote to me and he said, Langley, I'm gay. And he'd been my prayer partner at university. We'd known each other for, I think, 2 years. And he was saying, and it was a round robin letter, and he was sort of saying to everyone, I understand if that shocks you, if you feel that I've lived a lie, if you don't want to know anymore and you need some space, or if you want to just start again in the relationship, And it was quite a heartfelt kind of letter written from this guy's ordination retreat, So I took one look at my wife, actually replied and just said, we love you. It doesn't make any difference. And actually, we asked him to be godparent to one of our children and baptize the other children. I mean, we were conscious of that. We realized that would be hugely affirming, we felt, for him, but also it wasn't because he was gay, it's because he was just a great person.
So have you got any advice you would give to an LGBT person who's in your church, and maybe an advice to somebody who's in your church who's a bit anti?
All right. Well, the first one's interesting because like the gay friend question, I wouldn't say anything, I think, to somebody who was LGBT plus identifying that I wouldn't say to somebody who is heterosexual. In terms of my particular stance and what I want to encourage in relationships, there's no difference, apart from, I would say, now this is at risk of sounding wrong because I've had to think about it. It's not a sin to be LGBTQ. It's not a sin. Now, the trouble is, if I say that kind of puts in the back of someone's mind who perhaps it wasn't there. Oh, is this wrong? So it's something I'm quite careful about. But I do think, that there are sadly figures, and one hopes they're in the minority in the church, who are negative. And against that backdrop, I would like to say, as their minister, I don't see that this is wrong. And what's more, you need to be true to who you are. You need to have respect for who you are. Be affirmed in who you are, and let the focus be on your conscience and how you live your life and how you love other people. I think the report in the Methodist Church talks about how we relate to each other, how we relate healthily to each other, which is really, really good. And in terms of somebody who's struggling, I think that's a difficult one, but I think definitely the idea of saying to them, you're wrong, in terms of conflict management, is not going to be helpful because it sets up a polarization anyway. So there's always got to be an empathy and to respect how somebody feels, even if we feel that it's grounded in the wrong logic. And that, I think that comes across in people who are, people who are actually saying, I do want to change the way I feel. It doesn't feel right, but I'm struggling because of my culture. It's okay to struggle on the journey. There is space for you. There's respect for you and your opinion in that. It's about being able to respect everyone and find a way of working and living together. Yeah, but the thing is, Vicky, I've not had anyone do that. And sometimes I do point to what the scriptures are saying. So we're getting down to brass tacks here, but Sodom and Gomorrah, that's a big one that's picked up. Sodom and Gomorrah is peddled in a increasingly minority view that they were judged for homosexuality. It wasn't that. It was failure in hospitality and gang rape, basically. You know, I mean, we get onto that, and then the other things that I tend to sort of encourage people to avoid lifting the scriptures, you know, just as if they are arrived out of context. You know, Paul's criticism seems to be around the abusive relationships. So the abuse of a younger boy by an older male in the apprenticeship system. That's where I see it. It's the abuse with it of relationship, you know, rather than getting caught up in the issues of sexuality.
Where do you sit on the issues of gender then?
Well, Methodist Church actually this week, because we had conference, has been very, very clear in affirming that people who assert themselves as trans or non-binary or intersex. First statement in the motions of conference, real concern about the government shelving the legislation on gender identity, and a concern as well about an increase in the amount of transgender hate crime, which I think we need to, I'd like to, if the Methodist Church has said it and said it in that way, then there must be some weight behind it. As a Methodist Church, we needed to continue down the path of doing all we could to be inclusive. I noticed that the Methodist Church was really clear that one of the presidents of Churches Together in England, who was a Quaker, was not able to take up her post, and the Methodist Church responded in the strongest way I've ever seen it respond in writing, to say that we were very displeased by that, and saying, no, we affirm that person and we call on that decision to be overturned because she was in a same-sex marriage. So, you know, that's where the Methodist Church stands. I think the key phrase is we can think differently but love the same.
Do you want to tell us if you've done anything for Pride Month? It's a little awkward having Pride Month when not allowed out, but has anything happened in your churches?
Not in the churches, because of course the churches aren't meeting, but we've shifted to live stream. But as you can see, there's a pride flag on the shelf, which might not seem like a huge gesture, but I did a little piece on my YouTube channel to say why I feel that why I put the pride flag out, and I speak about, you know, at the very basic level about it being about people who identify with the LGBTQ plus community, you know, being afforded respect and dignity, and saying, you know, that I just reached a point where I felt that it was important to acknowledge that, but also saying I'm still here for people who struggle, you know. But it was a lot, you know, the very basic foundational thing that we can do is encourage an openness to dialogue and underline the need for mutual respect and an intolerance against prejudice. So at the very basic level, before we even get on to the other sort of conversations that are happening. So that's one thing that I did. And then I worked really hard, to be honest. I worked really hard towards this interview, and we tried some stuff, didn't we, to camera, and it didn't work as well, because I'm just conscious that as I'm growing, I'm a straight guy, and even though I have friends who are gay, and even I have people in my family who are searching, I don't feel that I really understand the complications and the kind of pressures that people who identify with the community feel. So I think my big thing is, you know, it's the church has, let's face it, the church, like a lot of organisations, has responded poorly in the past. Yeah, and a lot of conversations, because I've gone, for example, I said, Vicky, as I was thinking through it, I don't want to look like a complete numpty, but when I said, you know, when we say LGBTQ, you know, I went, hang on, is that gay for gay men and women, or is that gay men because the L's in there for lesbian? You know, where are we? That's my kind of space where I'm starting. And I had a good conversation with a couple of sort of friends who went, no, you can, you know, originally it was lesbian gay men, you know, and then I understand that's what I've been fed, you know, But those are the kind of things, and how I don't want to cause hurt to anyone. I don't want anyone to feel excluded. So the difference between saying that somebody is trans and saying somebody is transgendered, you know, I mean, this is all really new ground. I've looked at a load at, I've forgotten a name now. Mind you, most people would like to forget a name. The author of the Harry Potter books.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Of J.K. Rowling. That was my education. Somebody said to me, close in my family, have a look at the J.K. Rowling stuff. So that was all a bit of an education. And on my YouTube, just, linking into those trans voices as well, starting to do that, thinking, it's been good. So it's an education. We're all learning.
I've run out of questions. So if you've got anything else?
Yeah, I think, to talk to the report. So one of the things in the report that is really interesting is it says, think about good relating. So it's really honest about the fact of how people relate to each other. Really honest about the fact that, hang on, being married, let's be honest, we've been married with people who've been sleeping together before they're married for ages, you know, and we're still holding this line, you know, formally. What's going on? Let's be honest about that. And that's really good. What's also really good is that it recognizes that people can be devoted to each other. They need not necessarily be married. That's a really significant thing. And that leads the church to say, well, what's wrong with marriage? Why isn't it appealing? And that's led us to unpack a lot of the kind of the unhealthy dynamic that can be read into marriage if we're not careful. And there's a lot of work that's kind of that's been done into that, into what has influenced and been at work in our understanding of marriage. I mean, to this day, you can choose to obey or not as a woman in marriage. You know, I'm like, you can choose what you want, but I'd rather just stick with, don't go with, you know, why would you obey? How is this mutual? That kind of thing. Now, I've been in a church where another liturgy has said that it's actually been that the purpose of marriage is procreation. Well, we say children may be nurtured, and there's considerable movement on, well, how do we help people affirm their relationships? How do we create the space? Because we all need that, you know, baptisms, weddings, funerals, wherever you go, they're about creating spaces where we remember things that are deeply significant and important. They're a rite of passage. You know, I also often say to people with funerals, so not to move on to funerals, that actually in itself, even if you don't believe that that's okay, what we're doing is we're creating a space to remember a momentous event in life. But if they do say, can I have a service without mentioning God, I do struggle a little bit there. I think that's what's underneath the hood in some of the research around the recent report that we were looking into. When we look at relationships, it's sometimes easy, a good place to finish, you know, as I kind of think, is to look at what we don't want. And what we don't want is abusive relationships. What we don't want is people being forced to act against their conscience. Because, and this is the big thing, when you look to the biblical texts, above and beyond anything, especially Old Testament, New Testament, most of the criticism from the prophets is heaped about people's lack of love for their neighbour and lack of social justice. That's what, you know, primarily is the judgment that's happening in the Old Testament. You know, and Jesus says, love God, love your neighbour. You know, what's the greatest law? So I think that's the kind of territory that we're into in relationships, really. So I think that's where I'm at, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be invited to kind of share. And whoever's editing this, the Lord bless you and keep you, because you won't stand a chance. And thanks for all your patience as well. It's been a good journey, and I just hope that I can help. I'm going to go now. Is that all right?
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.
Little speech and little video from Langley Mackerel Hay. As you can see now on screen, we have the lovely Linda Bacardi. How are you, my darling? How are you?
Hello. She's having a bit of a lash malfunction, but
coming to us live from Brighton. It's from the South Coast. So I'm going to start straight away. I'm going to ask you about 5 questions, and then we're going to go straight into your performance, if you don't mind, darling. Because we've got a tight schedule to stick to, unfortunately. Right. So, question number 1, babes. How would you describe your act?
How would I describe? I would describe my act as mainly, I have a hostess kind of quality. However, my main forte is my lip sync, very much in the style of sort of Titi LeCamp and Lizzie Drip, but with an added dose of vocal madness.
Well, any of you from Peterborough may have been to Embrace, may have seen Linda McCarty. She does a really good mime act and sketch from not Dinner Ladies. Oh, what's it called?
Acorn Antiques.
That's it, Acorn Antiques. She does a fantastic impression of Julia Waters in that. Right, I'm going to quickly move on to my second question. What's been your most embarrassing moment on stage, if you have any?
Probably the early drag idols, back about 10 years ago. Just looking back on them and thinking, what was I wearing? What did I think? I think I once tried a number whereby I did My Boy Lollipop and I went out as a lollipop lady. So yeah, that was
okay. The old days of I look back and think, oh my God, what on earth was I thinking? I'll probably look back in 10 years' time and look at myself like this and think, what the earth? Okay. What's your best put down?
Oh, what's my best put down? What, in terms of a heckle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Mine would be, who did your makeup, girl? The council?
Yeah. Mine would be, if I wanted to listen to an arsehole, I'd stick a microphone behind me and fart.
I love it. Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that one. Right, the question number 4. What's your most memorable moment of your journey so far?
I think the drama queens. The drama queens kind of developed Linda McCarty and made her what she is. Shep Spike Road set up, and Titi LeCamp set up an Amdram kind of mime drag troupe thing. We all did different shows, everything from Evita to Little Shop of Horrors to Rocky Horror. Not the Sound of Music, loads of stuff, and that pointed me in the right direction. And that, I would say, so far that's been my, shining moment.
Okay, cool. Okay, and final question: if we want to ask you, do you have any advice for anyone out there who's trying to find themselves in this crazy world?
Don't give up. I'll never knock anyone with ambition. Work on your strengths, diminish your weaknesses, look upon others, don't copy them, be yourself, and in time you will develop into what you want to be. Don't try and copy something, copy someone, learn and get inspirations, but be what you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Be yourself, keep going. Yeah, that's what would be my same thing I would say. Be yourself. And final question, do you have any backstage gossip you'd like to share with us? From any of your Brighton queens down there? They're probably not watching, so you can tell us anything you want, love.
Well, some of the bars, she's on the lemonade, and she's actually on the cherryade. There's no white wine. Well, not really. As far as the gay bars down here are concerned, or LGBTQ bars are concerned, they're all starting to sort of open up again. There's not really any. I've not been out enough, since the care work to really pick up any gossip. But no, I'm sure I will, though. I'm sure I will.
Okay, babes. Right, well, that's my questions for you. So I hope people have got to know you a little bit better. If they haven't seen you at one of our Embrace nights and they're tuning in now, you're all going to get to know Linda a little bit more, because she's going to go on now and do a show for us up until just before about 5 to 6, sorry. Just before, up to 5 to 6 o'clock, because we're going to go into tissue. You should be waiting in the room like you were. So I'm going to hand you right over now to the lovely Linda McCarty. She's going to entertain y'all. Happy Pride.
You're going to be watching for the next couple of minutes, are you? Because I've got something to share with you. Something to share with you. All right.
Okay.
Here she goes. Hello, and welcome to Flinders News. I'm Ivor Biggin, live and direct from Fairy Queen Mansions. The world was shocked today when internationally renowned drag queen and socialite Ritzy Crackers was last night found in Peterborough High Street, lying in a pool of her own sick. Ritzy, 57, from Peterborough, who was once a glamour girl in the streets of Soho, was reported to have been seen shouting at policemen, "Cherish your opal fruits, love. They're made to make your mouth water." Upon which, the two policemen, dressed like unicorns, picked her up by her muggy weave and threw her in the back of their panda car. Miss Crackers is due to appear in Peterborough Crown Court tomorrow, charged with crimes against fashion and the misuse of paint products. Meanwhile, in showbiz news, drag queen
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and other gender-fluid individuals. Please welcome the illuminated runway of joy, the bitch who puts the me in mind, the sin in lip sync, and the rag in drag. Give it up for Brighton's butchest auntie, the gagtastic Auntie Linda.
Oh, hello everyone. Yes, she's back. She's back. Normally she does this thing on a Sunday, but she's decided to turn it around, dig it out, bung on the Dulux, and do my little bit. I was lucky enough last year to feature with the lovely Ritzy Crackers and host Peterborough Pride. Unfortunately, due to the whole COVID madness, we've been confined indoors. Spatially, the pubs are beginning to open, which is, my white wine hangovers and my weight is beginning to emerge again. So one must watch those. But so we've decided to. Well, Ritzy has been nice enough to invite me to this little gathering. Now, let me introduce myself if you've never seen me before. My name is Linda Bacardi. One slap on me will keep you lubricated for hours. So if indeed you want to keep this rancid old drag queen in drink, I do insist that it is a stiff one. I am from Brighton, as you can see behind me. And no, I'm not sat on a beach. Though I would like to be. I'm going to start off with a little song, and I say normally this would be filled with Prosecco or Pinot Grigio, but it is a family show. I'm going to try and get the comments up as well, because we've kind of hopefully we'll be able to double up, and I can see what's going on. There we. Can't see a thing without my glasses. You'll have to go. Right, well, she'll come back to that. Right, here we go. Let's start. Oh, here we go. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, oh, come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, oh, come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine, come hear the band,
Come blow your horn, start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waving. Hope it's permitted, some puppet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret. I used to have this girlfriend known as Elsie, with whom I shared 4 solid rooms in Chelsea. She isn't what you'd call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rents it by the hour. The day she dies, neighbour, they'll come to stick her, not marathon, 'cause that's what comes from copious amounts of pills and cheap licky liquor. But when I see her laid out like a rancid trophy, she'll be the happiest corpse I've ever seen. I think of Elsie Ritzy to this very day, and I remember how she turned to me and say, hey, hey, what good is sitting all alone in your room? Come with the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. And as for me, and as for me, I made my mind up back in Chelsea when I grew. Well, I'm going like Elsie. Stop by admitting from cradle to tomb. It doesn't matter, long or stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum. It's only a cabaret, old chum. And I love a cabaret. There we go, and the crowd goes wild. So I don't know where you are in the world, don't know where you are in the world. I'm going to try and ascertain where you are. I've got many screens going on here, and we're going live through Zoom from here in Ferry Green Mansions, only to through Embrace events to the Peterborough online thing. I've got to try and figure out what's going on with my comments and things, but I hope everything's all right in Embrace Central there, and everything hasn't broken yet. Now, Ritzy mentioned, I'll turn this on. Ritzy mentioned that she actually likes me doing my Acorn Antiques, so I might do a little bit of that. I also do a couple of sign numbers for those of you who might know. I also know how to sign for the hard of hearing, and I incorporate a little bit of sign language into my act. You'll have to excuse me because I'm determined to find out. Right, okay. Right, yeah, so I can actually see some people now. Right, so she's having eyelash malfunction. So I'm going to do for you, I'm going to do a little bit of macaroon. And at the same time, I'm going to sort of change my weave. So normally I would go off stage and then I would do the whole thing, but with a green screen, it's logistically impossible. So I should just do a little bit here. I should do a little bit here. And she can find it. Yeah, she found it. So here we go. Imagine it's the Krypton factor. Oh, she's nearly there. She's nearly there. Bear with us. Bear with us. Oh. Here she is. If anybody knows me underneath, I'm actually bald as a coot. I think that's why I like wearing wigs for a living. Okay,
so she's looking half pretty now. So here's a little bit of macaroon for you.
Somebody offered her a cocktail. Next thing you know, she's headed for Bermuda with a trunk full of provocative scanties. If she'd stuck to a lattice jam tarted and a vim towel, all this could have been avoided. The modern world is full of stress, so many nervous wrecks. People turn to alcohol, drugs, and even sex. Drink Russian liquor, transport a yowling child. Sex I don't agree with. What works when I fight? Is some tea on a tray and some biscuits put in your way. Bits of baked tart lightens up your heart, cars brighten your day. Can't feel blue, can't feel flat when you're mushing sugar and fat. Spend your salaries on them calories. Don't bother with Bobby Jarrett or anything like that. Anything like that. Drugs can do damage. Take poor old Ozzy Osbourne. All he seems to do is fret and shine. He's a rock star, a baron, no man shine. He's a stranger to the benefit of overlord today. He would be strong in the silk if he lived on muffins and milk. Learn some etiquette, play the clarinet. He could be the practice. A second and a milk he would sing. He could suck nice hot tea in a lonely drink cup. Relax, unwind a bit, F and blind a bit. Put out the custard fucking cream and shut the fuck up. Cocaine orgies, Frankie Barton, tell ya, a man's career will suffer of his app. Scandals don't fester. Now I'm not blaming Nesta, but Brad's never had the pleasure of an egg and chutney back. To conclude, don't be rude. You just stick to comforting food. If you're feeling festive, nice digestive, keep you on the move. Watered lines, shattered dreams, divvy out lemon juicy grains. I can't say gypsy anymore, this is very politically incorrect. You could spice it with a nomadic people's non-dairy biscuit and fat item. Cheer your afternoon with a macaroon. Put a smile on your face. Though your vision is shuttered, just get your crumpet buttered, and the world will be a happier place.
Oh, there we go. Little bit of a little bit of Victoria Wood. It's actually, what's her name again? Somebody will remind me of her name. Anyway, so yes, that was from Acorn Antiques. Macaroon. Julie Walters, that's what I was after. Julie Walters. And I might sing another song now. Let's make an attempt to. Let's. and then I'll do a themed. I'll do a themed number. I will do. Oh, I think we'll have a bit of Carly if I can find it. And the ones among technology. It is indeed. He's put it on this list. I'll put them down. Hungry, somebody, let's start that again. Let's start that again. Right, just press all the right buttons on the wrong order. There we go. Right, here we go. A bit of Madonna for you. Some boys love me, some boys love me. I think they're okay. But if they don't give me proper credit, I just walk away. Cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. Like a virgin, when your heart beats next to mine, gonna give you all my love, boy. And I will make it fast. Been saving it all for you, cause only love can last. You're so fine, and you're mine. I'll be yours till the end of time. Just make me feel. Yeah, you make me feel like there's nothing to feeling good. Yeah, woo! Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. Like a virgin, when your heart beats next to mine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If we took our dream, take some time to celebrate. Just one day out of life, it would be so nice if we found special. We're gonna have a celebration all across the world, in every nation. It's time for the good times. Forget about the bad times, oh yeah. Someday we'll come together to release our pressure. We need a holiday. If we took a holiday, take some time to celebrate. Just one day out of life, it would be so nice. Woo! Come on, girls, do you believe in love? Cause I got something to say about it, and it goes something like this. You're a Tony Diamond, so 18 gold. Fancy cars that go very fast, you know, they never last, no. What you need is a big strong hand to lift you to a higher ground. Make you feel like a queen of the crown. Make you love it till
go for a second best, baby. Put your love to the test. You've got to make him express how he feels. Cause baby, you know your love is real. Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, don't just stand there, let's get to it. Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike the pose, there's nothing to it. Credit Garbo and Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon and Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of a magazine. Grace, Kelly, Harlow, Jean, picture of a beauty queen. Jean, Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, dance on air. They had style, they had grace. Rita Hayworth, gave them face. Lauren, Catherine, Leonard too. On like folks, we love you. Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. Whoa! Whoa. L-U-V, Madonna, Y-O-U, you wanna? L-U-V, Madonna, Y-O-U, you wanna? L-U-V, Madonna. Boom. Ooh, there we go, a little bit of Auntie Madge for you. I don't mind Madonna, but no Madonna. Oh. Welcome back. Those who have joined us, my name is Linda Bacardi. One step of me will keep you lubricated for hours. We are live on Facebook through the Embrace Events page, doing our little bit for Peterborough Pride, which I was lucky enough to feature in last year, over in Peterborough High Street. Not a stranger to such places. A close friend of mine, an ex of mine, lived just up the road near Ely, and it was like a sort of familiarity. There was a familiarity about the place. So I do hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I'm going to see if I can tap into the Embrace page somehow. I don't know if somebody wants to give me the link to it. One of the people in the group. I have no idea how this video gets broadcast, but. As I mentioned earlier, I do also do sign language. I'm also an interpreter, qualified interpreter. Sorry, she's having a bit of a lash. Just ask Britney Fierce. Right, so I'm going to do a sign number for you. Not quite sure which one we will do. But let me find one on my beloved iTunes. Okay. As I mentioned, I said I got asked a question about, what was a golden moment. I took part in a drag troupe called the Drama Queens. It's in the Black Cap and then the two girls, the Black Cap, is where I started trading the boards. That was the start of my career. Okay. I can see myself there, can I? Okay. Right. So I just had a little pop-up. For those of you who can't see that, just a little pop-up. Excuse me for a moment. There we go. Right, yep, I can see me now. There she is. So, yes. And that was a sort of golden moment for me. And as a member of the Drama Queens, Linda Bacardi found direction. For any budding drag queen out there, with you do your own thing, or you're inspired by the likes of RuPaul's Drag Race. Just find your niche, enjoy yourself, and don't let anybody get you down. Take inspirations from other artists, when it comes to makeup and style, and find your own, or look at YouTube tutorials, things like that. But just go for it, But I'm going to do this little number that we used to do at the Drama Queen shows. And as I said, I do know how to mime, so I'm going to try my best to do this. My green screen is getting a bit fuzzy, so excuse me. I'm a bit fuzzy behind me. Hopefully she'll settle. Here we go. when the sun is setting at the end of the day, and the city fills with shades of gray. In between the streetlight and the moonlit snow, there's a place I go where I do my show. I'm your drama queen tonight. All my troubles are out of sight. When the lights are on, I will be your shining star. I'm your drama queen tonight. Everything's gonna be alright when I get on the stage tonight. It's a space in time where every dream comes true, and tomorrow's sorrows just won't do. In between reality and fantasy, I will make you see if you just believe. I'm your drama queen tonight. All my troubles are out of sight. When the lights are on, I will be your shining star. I'm your drama queen tonight. Everything's gonna be alright when I get on the stage tonight. No more use pretending, no more reason to run and hide. Let's make all our dreams come true tonight. I'm your drama queen tonight. All my troubles are right outside. When the lights are on, I will be your shining star. I'm your drama queen tonight. Everything's gonna be alright when I get on the stage tonight. Oh, 'cause I'm your drama queen tonight.
Woo! There we go. There we go. That's from Denmark. A drag queen called DQ. That was a Eurovision entry, I think about 2008 from Denmark, something along those lines. You might want to correct me. Oh, yeah, she's come all flustered. Hi, Dan. Dan's on my timeline. My timeline is Flynn Alsop Burge. On a Sunday, I do a quiz show. A quick plug, it's not about me, it's about Embrace and everything, but yeah, I'm broadcasting through my man profile and what have you publicly. Flynn Alsop Burge, and I do a Filthy Minds thing on a Sunday evening, and I have different guests. I've been lucky enough to actually have Ritzy Crackers on. It's an absolute riot. So yes, excuse me for a moment. I'm just going to sit myself. Right. Okay. Unfortunately, I've not got to. Oh, let's do this for a laugh. It'll probably be absolutely dreadful. Anything that comes out of my mouth generally is. That's why she tends to do lip sync. But I experimented last year on Peterborough stage with a Wham song, I'm Your Man. She's got marginally better at it since she first did it. Though, you know, she wouldn't win any competitions or become a George Michael tribute act with it. But here you go. Here's a little bit of Wham, I'm Your Man. Let's just check this is working. Okay. Oh, there we go. Bit of I'm Your Man for you. Oh! Woo! Yeah.
coming back. Don't be everything you want to, baby. But I know all that you say. And I know I'll make you happy with the one thing that you never had. I'm your man. Don't you know that? I'm your man. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it. You're so good. You're divine. I wanna take you, wanna make you, but they tell me it's a crime. Oh, everybody knows that the good people go, but where we're going, baby, ain't no such word as no. I'm your man. Don't you know who I am? I'm your man. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it. First class information. Sexual inspiration. Oh, need some stimulation. Yeah, right. Do it. Oh, 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 oh. So why waste time with other guys? You can have mine. No asking for no sacrifice. Baby, your friends do not need to know. You got a real nice place to go. Listen, I don't need you to care. I don't need you to understand, yeah. All I know is for you to be there. Cause when I'm turned on, if you want me, hey, hey. I'm your man. I'm your man. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. Do it with me. If you're gonna do it right. If you're gonna do it, I know what I'll say. If you're gonna do it, don't throw it away. Don't throw it, baby. Don't throw it. I'll be a boy, I'll be a man, I'll be the one who understands. I'll be your first, I'll be the last, I'll be the only one you ask. I'll be a friend, I'll be a toy, I'll be the one who brings you joy. I'll be your home, I'll be a boy, I'll take you half around the world. I'll make you rich, I'll make you bold. Just don't use the door. Do it with me. Do it with me. Ooh, there we go. Let's take the fart on my shoebox off. There we go. A little bit of a wham for you. A little bit of a wham for you. Right, so what I might do for you now, I might change my weave yet again. I might change my weave. And let's see how the comments. Everything's fine at the moment. Everything's fine. Oh, right, yes. Bear with, bear with. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm going to do another wig change. She will come back as someone semi-different. I think I'll do a bit of share. Let's just here's a little bit of share for you, and we'll have a bit of an interlude.
Six, eight, four. Oh, Shell's in the room, everyone. With the Smithies wig. She's just gonna adjust her. But like I say, when I do this on stage, I would normally have a minute to go off, and I'd change my hair, I'd change the costume and whatever, and bring any props on. I do have a couple of the props nearby, but they won't fit on the screen. And Shera has looked a lot better. She has looked a lot better. But here we are. Okay, so I think I might change the backdrop for this as well. I'm having a few technical difficulties with my green screen this evening, ladies and germs, and gender non-binaries, LGBTQ, and everyone else out there. Welcome if you just joined us. I'm just going to change the backdrop. This one, I think. This might work well with Cher, I suppose. Here we go. Here's a bit of Cher for you. Wear a little more, but only if it's beige, and a pair of slippers. Welcome to old age. Everything is tiring, and steps fill me with rage. Can I get a stair lift? Welcome to old age. Oh, my voice is failing, and my teeth keep falling out. My hearing aid is broken, so my dear, you'll have to shout. Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say? I told you you're gonna have to speak up. So I'm in my 90s, still dancing in a cage, wearing adult diapers. Welcome to old age. I like to drink hot cocoa while knitting underwear, watching the murder she wrote while planning my next meal. I forget my lyrics if I don't read them from a page. I can't find my glasses. Welcome to old age. Has anyone seen my glasses? I had them here just a second ago. I can't read the lines of the song's coming back here. No, screw it. Oh, I might be aging, and my real hair might be gray, but I'm still the greatest diva. Don't believe me? Ask the gays. I can barely walk, but I will be just fine. Damn these touchy hips. Wish I could turn back time. So at 94, I'm still center stage. I just kiss myself. Welcome to old age. Joe, I'm sure, bitches. Even my farts are auto-tuned.
Dance 10 books free, and still on unemployment. Dance for my own enjoyment. That ain't it, kid. That ain't it, kid. Dance 10 books free. It's like to die. Get the theater and call the doctor for my appointment to buy tips and dance. Box out the fancy hair. Tighten up the derriere. Hit the nose with it. All that goes with it. Tips and dance. And the big dog bumbo's done. Suddenly I'm getting national tours. Won't get you jobs unless they're yours. Didn't cost a fortune neither. Didn't hurt my sex life either. Flat and sassy, I would get the sprays of losers. Beggars really can't be choosers.
It's just an interlude for me to change wigs. Here we go. It's a bit of Bette Midler for you.
Hey, I'm an actress. Hey, no, I'm a pro. I bet I'm more of a pro than you. Well, this whole acting thing's been going pretty good. I mean, it's all just bullshitting, right? Actors are just bullshitters who get paid. Where do I sign up?
Sling, inventor, and Crouch had nothing to get very worked up about. His inventions were failures, his future seemed bleak. He fled to the opera at least twice a week. One night at the opera he saw an Aida, whose bust was so big it would often impede her. But he watched her fall into the pit, down by the weight of those terrible tits. Oh my God, there she goes. Aerodynamically, this girl was a mess. Otto eyeballed the diva lying comatose amongst the reeds, and he suddenly felt the fire inspiration flood his soul. He ran back to his workshop where he punched and punched and punched. Poor Otto did sing and found his quest. Something and more, the female breast should point the small ones to the sky to keep the big ones high and dry. Every night he'd sweat and snort, searching for the right support. He tried some string and paper clips, and he even tried his own tulips. Well, he stayed until finally one night, in the wee hours of morning, Otto arose from his workbench triumphant. Yes, he had invented the world's first over-the-shoulder roller holder. Hooray! Exhausted but ecstatic, Otto ran out to the diva bearing the prototype in his hot little hand. Now, the diva did not want to try the darn thing on, but after many initial mishaps, she finally did. And the sigh of relief that issued forth from her mouth was so loud that it was mistaken by some to be the early onset of the surrounding winds which up and rolled through their flag all with all the engines. But little did Otto know, at the moment of his greatest triumph, lurking under the diva's skin was none other than the very worst of the French patent thieves, Philip de Brazil. And Bill was watching the scene with a great deal of interest. Later that night, while Brunhilde slept, into the wardrobe he softly crept. He thumbed through knickers and corsets galore, till he found Otto's sling and he ran out the door. Crying, oh, God, what joy, what bliss! I'm gonna make me $1 million from this. Every woman in the world will wanna buy one. I will have all the goods manufactured in Taiwan. The result of this swindle is pointedly clear. Do you buy a tit sling, or do you buy a Brazil?
Woo! Oh, there you go. Little double barrel there for you. Little double barrel. Oh. As bold as a brush. Well, no, that's a contradiction term. And bold as a coot underneath. I've got some a work pal on the alternative feed has just sent me. Okay. Hello. Wherever you are joining us, whatever part of the country, internationally or whatever, I hope you are staying safe in these unprecedented times. Yes, it's eased a little bit, but don't let your guard down. At the end of the day, you know, the whole COVID thing is still out there, but we albeit in the confines of our living rooms, us as entertainers are still doing our bit for you. And I meant to add my PayPal link. If anybody wants to donate anything that they donate to me, I look forward, or I think there might even be an Embrace one. www.paypal.me/Auntie Linda. This is going through the Embrace event Peter Online Pride page. So anything that goes through on that, I'll forward, and that will help the next year. You know, have a bigger and better stage as we did last year, and it was absolutely lovely, and I was glad to be part of it. As I say, pretty soon, I'm sure your entertainers like yourself will be able to get on the stage and actually perform for you in a venue. At the moment, it's sort of social distancing, obviously, and there's the cross-contamination and stuff like that. So we're very limited on what us as artists can do for you at the moment. But pretty soon, I'm sure we'll sort something. Now, I'm going to finish off with this last number now. Before I hand you over to the lovely, hand you back over to lovely Rixie Crackers, and then subsequently to your friend and mine, the lovely Miss Tissue, live from Great Yarmouth. So from here in Brighton to the other end, the other coastline, lovely Great Yarmouth. So I'm going to finish off with this little number. Copyright bots might get this, but I will say in advance I don't own the rights to this. I'm actually going to be signing it. And this is obviously for the the hard of hearing community. But at the end of the day, this is a song that this encapsulates everything about this encapsulates. Be proud of what you are, who you are, what you do. Don't let anybody get you down.
I look into the windows of my mind, reflections of the fears I know I've left behind. I step out of the ordinary, I can feel my soul ascending. Can't stop me now, and you can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that grab for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Still so many answers I don't know. So many answers. Realize that true question is how we grow. True question is to grow. So I step out of the ordinary. I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way. Can't stop me now. You can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that grab for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, we need a change. Yeah, do it today. Yeah, I can feel my spirit rising. Change. Yeah, we need a change. Yeah, so do it today. Yeah, 'cause I can see your flavor rising. Let me hear you. Let me You could be so many people if you make that ground for freedom. So what have you done today to make you feel proud? What have you done today? Yeah. What have you done today? What have you done today? What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people. Just make that right for freedom. So what have you done today to make you feel proud?
Oh, be what you are. Don't let anybody knock you down. Don't let anybody knock you down. I'm Flinda Bacardi. Linda Bacardi, it's been an absolute pleasure. And just enjoy the rest of your time. And yeah, thank you very much. Let's pass you back
Get
to
me
the
into the video so you can let my screen on video so I can come in.
Right. What do I do my end now? Okay.
Hi, darling.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. There's Linda Bacardi coming to you live from Brighton, everybody. Give her a wave. Linda only shared a PayPal link with us just before the end there. So what we'll do is we'll put it in the post. So if anyone watches this a bit later, they can tip you for your performance.
And I'll happily donate it for next year's Embrace.
Yeah?
So I'll
Okay, babe. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye to you. And everybody wave goodbye to Linda. Thank you so much. Thanks to get out of the way. So, speak to you, that's my silly dog. Bye, darling. Bye-bye. Right. Hi there, everybody. Well, that was the lovely Linda Bacardi coming to us live from Brighton. I'm just going to do a quick about what's coming up tomorrow before we go over to our main act this evening, which is Tissue. I'm so excited. I love Tissue. So yes, coming up tomorrow, we have our Pride Parade car convoy. We are going to be meeting up in the Key Theatre car park at 1 p.m. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be driving around the outskirts of Peterborough, and then we're going to come back in at the top of Borges Boulevard and go straight down past Toys R Us and the bus station and back to the car park. So yeah, if you are in a bubble of people and any of you drive, that is okay for you to share a car. Or if you do not share a car and you want to join in, you just meet us in the car park and then we'll take it from there. So yes, if anybody wants to meet a little bit early, say 12:30, get your cars ready, but please make sure anything that you stick to your car, like flags or anything, is secured properly, and yeah, so nothing flies off or blows away and causes an accident. I'm just reaching over there so I can get them. Cool. Well, that's coming up tomorrow. So yes, the car convoy from 1 o'clock. If you'd like to take part, we'll meet you in the car park at 1. And I'm going to now go over to the Zoom room where I am going to talk to Tissue. Hi, Han, how are you? Very well, very well. Very well, thank you. It's going well, it's all going well. You're looking lovely.
Thank you, darling.
I'm loving the hair. Excuse me. God, this is the longest of so many days I've been in drag since lockdown, 6 days in a row now. My poor face is like a baboon's ass.
I couldn't remember how to do a face. It's been that long.
Those of you who don't know Tissue came to our opening night when we started off at one of our opening nights when we started off at the Met Lounge, Embrace at the Met Lounge, and she's provided us for the last 2 years, every month, with queens from up and down the country. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you to you, darling, for providing us with all the acts that we've needed over the last couple of years.
So yes, thank you. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to ask you, if that's all right, so people can get to know you a bit more. I'm not going to ask all 16 that I sent out, so I'm only going to ask about 5. Okay. How would you describe your act?
Oh, virginal. It's definitely virginal, isn't it? No, not at all. Well, I'm going to keep it clean because we're before the watershed, so I'm trying not to swear. It's my new resolution, lockdown resolution, is I'm not going to swear anymore. So I'm going to try and keep it clean. How would I describe Tissue? Let's just say she likes men.
Okay, a bit like Ritzy Crackers then, yeah.
Does more success though.
If this was after 9 o'clock, I'm sure we'd have a completely different answer.
I'm very good. Very good.
Okay, and how have you connected to your online followers on social media during lockdown?
Oh wow! Do you know what? I've had an absolute amazing time actually during lockdown. At the start of lockdown, I wasn't going to go live actually. I decided that I was going to just keep Tissue in the cupboard for a little while. You know, she needs a bit of rehab now and again. So, but I got bugged into doing a live show, so I did one.
Okay.
I was doing every Wednesday. I was doing a live show, and then it became Wednesdays and Sundays, and then I got involved in online Pride. Where I was representing Great Yarmouth Pride, so I did that. And then from there, it was like I was doing an animal sanctuary charity gig, and I ended up I was doing more what I was doing normally when I'm out and about. So so great social media reaction actually. Lots of people tuning in, and lots of people messaging actually during lockdown, going, "Oh my God, I look forward to Wednesday night because it gives me something in the week." So I think that was massive for me that people were taking the time to message and saying actually it was really lightening the situation up for them. So it was really, really good. And then, I don't know if you know, I've been nominated as a finalist as well for the Book Entertainment's East of England Awards for Best Live Stream Performance. There you go.
I did see, and I voted for you. Cool, yeah, so you've been busy then during lockdown with your Wednesdays and your Saturdays and your animal sanctuaries. That must be really cool.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun.
Awesome. Right. What's your best put down?
I don't think I'm allowed to say it because
clean. Make it a clean-ish one.
A cleanish one. But for those that know, it might be to do with the size of a certain man's appendage.
Okay. Yeah, don't want no short man.
Small and thin, doesn't
Okay, well, have you got anything interesting planned for your fans coming up on social media after lockdown?
After lockdown, well, I'm having a little bit of revamp, because I'm getting older, Ritzy. I'm getting older, and you can't keep hunting all the rich husbands, can you? So
no, there's none left.
Well,
You've had them all.
I was thinking I might go lesbian and see if there's any rich lesbians instead.
Okay. A sugar mummy. You need a sugar mummy.
I don't care. Sugar mummy, sugar daddy, sugar non-binary, whatever they like. If you're out there and you want to send me money, I'll give you my PayPal link.
Okay, and final question before we go over to you doing your show. Where should we ask you? Oh yeah, have you got any advice for anyone out there who's trying to find themselves in this crazy world?
Oh God, just be yourself and don't give about anybody else or what they think or what they're going to say. Be you, and that's all you need to do. Don't worry about anybody else because nobody else actually bloody matters. If you're happy, that's what matters. And sod anybody else that says that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, darling. Just be yourself. Don't care what anyone else thinks because being yourself, yeah, you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
So, certainly.
Cool. Well, that's it for my questions. Are you ready to go live now?
I am, yes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's exciting.
Okay, everyone.
It's been a while.
Well, everyone, I'm just going to hand you over now to Tissue, who's going to close today for us. It's been a fantastic week. We'll catch up with Tissue at the end, briefly. Take it away, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my love. Hello, Peterborough. How are we? It's lovely to be here celebrating your pride with you. And it's an honour to yet again be back with you and having some fun. So let's have some fun for next hour. I'm going when I was spinning around, nothing of people, forever going down and breaking through the ground. When I thought I reached the end, I started to fall again, but I was taught to never surrender. When it's hard to get up, gonna fight till I can stand and stay. Oh, you can turn me down, you can throw me now. The harder out, the harder I come back around. You can break my heart, but you can scratch my name. I can take the hit, 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, 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 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, 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 and I'm a boomerang. Now I'm 10 feet tall, I'm probably still so small. Nothing in my way to make me change. No ceiling to my sky, just open space to fly. Every time I'm feeling down, I turn it back around, but I was taught to never surrender. When it's hard to get up, gonna fight till I can stand and stay. Oh, you can turn me down, you can throw me now. The harder out, the harder I come back around. You can break my heart, but you can scratch my name. I can take the hit, 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, 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 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, 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 I'm a boomerang. Even though I'm flying high, the sky can change one day. And I can hit some turbulence, but who I am is never gonna change, 'cause I'm a boomerang. I'm a boomerang. And I think we lost the backing track for some reason, but hopefully it'll come back in. Oh, nope, we've lost it. I don't know what's happened. We've had a little bit of technical here at Tissue Towers. Let me see if we have. We've lost it. We've lost the Bluetooth connection. Let's just get that back. Are we all right? Sorry about that, boys and girls. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. We'll get that back. The joys of technology and Bluetooth. Bluetooth is meant to be a reliable connection. It is. Is it nothing? Let me just get us back connected. This is going to be fun. Nope. 1 minute, I just go and hit the machine on the head. 1 minute.
The Bluetooth is ready to pair.
The Bluetooth is ready to pair.
The Bluetooth is connected successfully.
Well, I'm bloody glad about that, because that nearly really stuffed the show up, didn't it? Sorry we didn't get to the end of that song, but we'll move on. Or will we pick it up where we left? Let's pick it up. 'Cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, you can turn me down, you can throw me now. The harder out, the harder I come back around. You can break my heart, but you can scratch my name. I can take the hit, 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, Whoa, whoa, 'cause I'm a boomerang. Oh, whoa, 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 and I'm a boomerang. Well, we got there in the end, didn't we? Big round of applause, everybody. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Are we all good? Are we all good? Ooh, I can hear someone in the background creeping about. Oh, that's either that or they were going to the toilet for number 2. Cheers, everyone. This is an orange juice and lemonade because I'm detoxing still. I lie, it's vodka, my darlings. How are we all? Happy Peterborough Pride, everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful week. What a great week they've put on for you with all the wonderful acts and DJs, and we've had songs written and everything. It's been lovely to watch, and it's lovely to be here sharing with you. So we're going to go from one diva to another. We can't not do a Cher number now, can we? No, not at all. Cher, yes. I mean, when she dies, how are they going to decompose her? She's all plastic, isn't it? Yes. We're going to do this one. Sky's My Love Life. So big shout out to everybody watching at home. Happy Pride, darlings. And I've been standing out in the rain. I've been calling on you. I've got that lonely feeling again. Calling out your name. Do you hear me? Do you want me? Baby, it's all or nothing now. I don't want to run and I can't walk out. Breaking my heart if you leave me now. Don't want to wait forever. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Baby, it's all or nothing. Baby, it's all or nothing now. And I've been trying to get to your heart, but I'm chasing shadows. We keep falling further apart. So near and yet so far. Do you care now? Do you know how? Baby, it's all or nothing now. Don't wanna run and I can't walk out. Breaking my heart if you leave me now. Don't wanna wait forever. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Baby, it's all or nothing. Baby, it's all or nothing now. You see, sometimes when you touch me, I go weak inside. Because desire makes me weak. Desire makes me weak. Do you care now? Do you know how? Baby, it's all or nothing. I don't wanna run and I can't walk out. Breaking my heart if you leave me. I don't wanna wait forever. Baby, it's all or nothing. I don't wanna run and I can't walk out. Breaking my heart if you leave me now. Don't wanna wait forever. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Baby, it's all or nothing. Baby, it's all or nothing now. Now. Baby, it's all or nothing. Don't wanna walk and I can't walk out. Breaking my heart if you leave me. Don't wanna wait forever. Baby, it's all or nothing. Baby, it's all or nothing now. Thank you, thank you. I've got a bit of the corona, I think. Some lubrication. How are we all at Peterborough? I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good time with me tonight. Saturday night. Yes, it is Saturday night. I don't know what the weather's like in Peterborough, but it's lovely here in Great Yarmouth. So best wishes from Great Yarmouth. Oh dear. Right. Let's see what we've got on this list for you tonight. So I hope you're all well. I hope you've all been good through lockdown and socially distanced. I've had to put my men on the back burner during lockdown. I have, yes. I've had to go online and do an online presence, yes. My OnlyFans account is booming, it is. If you're under 18, don't go on OnlyFans, thank you. Right, what have we got on this list for you today? What do we fancy? I know, we're keeping it with the divas. So we've had Skerpsinger, we've had Cher. I think the only way to go is a bit of Lady Gaga, possibly. Are we feeling a bit of Lady Gaga? Let's do a little bit of this one. And so we can have a little bit of diversity. We're going to do a different version of this one. It's a Bollywood version. Are you ready? Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Dinga, 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 dinga. My mama told me when I was young, we are almost superstar. She rolled my hair and put my lipstick on in a glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said, 'cause he made you perfect, baby. Hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't have to step with regret. Just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag. Don't be. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway can recharge your truth. In a religion of being insecure, I must be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin. Believe a capital H-I-M. Hey, I love my life, I love this record, and mi amor yeah. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't have yourself and regret. Just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. I'm right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, your black, white, beige color descent, you're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast, believe the peace. Rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born. No matter gay, straight or bi, let's be in transgendered life. I'm on the right track, baby. We were born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige color or Orient made. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. Right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't have to self and regret. Just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way. Hey, I was born this way. Hey, right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way. Hey, I was born this way. Hey, right track, baby, I was born this way. Yes. Oh, yes. Isn't that song got a beautiful message, hasn't it? Yes, beautiful pride message. We are born this way, boys and girls. So if you're sitting at home watching this and thinking, do you know what, my friends don't know about me, my family don't know about me, I'm worried about being who I am, just be you, darling, because you were born that way, darling. Yes. Cheers to anybody sitting at home who's struggling with still thinking about telling the family that they are gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, pansexual, whatever. Here's to all of you at home. Oh, dearie dear. Yes, it is lovely to be back. It's the first one in a while. The throat's a little bit sore, but we'll battle through. We will battle through. So I hope you're all good. I hope you're good. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to come back very soon and have one of the wonderful Embrace nights again at the Ostrich Inn very, very soon. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Because I was so looking forward to come back to do Peterborough Pride Week. But here we are. We have to make the best of a bad situation, and what better way than to sit in the living room with a bottle of orange juice. Yes, yes, yes. So, we've had some divas. Where will we go next? What have we got on the list? Are we going to go... We're going to go a little bit older school, I think. We're going to go a little bit back. And we're going to do this. Are we? No. We might do. Yeah. Do you know what? We will do this one first. We're going to go back with a modern version of an ABBA classic. Because who doesn't love a bit of ABBA? Who doesn't? I'll do this one just for you. We're going to do the 18s version of this one. It's Mamma Mia. So I hope you're dancing around at home and having a wonderful Saturday. It is Miss Tissue Show. I've been cheated by you since I don't know when. I just cannot wait until I see you again. Look at me now. Will I ever learn? I don't know how. But I suddenly lose control. There's a fire within my soul. Just one looking, I can hear a bell ring. One more looking, I forget everything. Oh, 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 Mamma Mia. Here I go again, Mama. How can I resist ya? Mamma Mia. Does it show again, Mama? Just how much I missed ya. Yes, I've been broken hearted. I'm blue since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go, Mamma Mia? Now I really know, Mama, I could never let you go. Get the glow sticks out. And I've been angry and sad about things that you do. I can count all the times you use spit instead of blue. And when you go, when you slam that door, I think you know that you won't be away too long. You know that I'm not that strong. Just one looking, I can hear a bell ring. One more looking, I forget everything. Whoa, whoa, Mamma Mia. Here I go again, Mama. How can I resist ya, Mamma Mia? Does it show again, Mama? Just how much I missed ya. Yes, I've been broken hearted. I'm blue since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go? Mamma mia, now I really know, mama, I could never let you go. Mamma mia, here I go again, mama, how can I resist you? Mamma mia, does it show again, mama, just how much I missed you? Yes, I've been broken hearted, blue since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go, Mamma mia? Now I really know, mama, I could never let you go. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. A little bit of the ABBA, the 18s version there. I hope you like that. And we're bouncing around your living room at home with the glow sticks and the poppers. Party poppers if you're under 18. I don't condone drug use at all. No, just alcohol. Orange juice. Yes, orange juice. Detoxing. Yes. I'm all on my own, actually. I thought it was Christmas Day earlier. I did. Sean's working away. No, he's not. I don't know where he is. It's probably down the park with the dogs. Well, he did say he was going dogging, you see. Yes. So, moving swiftly on. How are we? Oh, dear, dear. That's what I got. Right. Do we fancy... Let's stay with a little bit of a retro vibe for the young kids that are in the room. If you're under 18, you probably won't know half these songs that I'm about to do because they were before your time. Yes. And while I'm on, I need to do a couple of shout outs. First of all, let's give a shout out for Peterborough's youngest queen. And we'll give a big shout out to Crystal Destiny. Mwah, my darling. I hope you're well. You're looking stunning. So lots of your pictures recently. You're looking fab. I hope you keep going, girl, because you're doing great. And also a big shout out to my big sexy, who's my biggest #1 fan, and who I know will be watching at home and be waiting for my shout out. So hello to you as well, big sexy. So a couple of shout outs. And of course, a big shout out to all of you in the Peterborough area who support the Embrace events and are part of the LGBTQ+ community. This is your pride, and I'm delighted to be here performing for you this evening. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I would be in the pub. Yes, drinking orange juice. Because it's orange juice that I'm allowed to drink now, not vodka or Sambuca. You know, we know what happened last time with Sambuca at Embrace, don't we? Yes. Right, we're going to go back really retro with a big gay club classic for this one. It was played all the time in the gay clubs back in the days, and it's about Stars on 54. That's how old I am, yes. We're going to do this one. If you don't know it, tough. If you do know it, sing along. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark, or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me. And I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. Huh? Whoa, read my mind, yeah. If you could read my mind, oh, what a tale my thoughts would tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sell. When you reach the part when the heartache comes, the hero would be you. Heroes often fail. Never thought I'd feel this way, but I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, if you could, if you could, if you could read my mind, oh yeah, If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale these thoughts would tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sells. When you reach the part where the heartache comes, the hero would be you. Heroes often fail. Never thought I'd feel this way, but I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. Oh, if you, oh yeah, read my mind, yeah. Whoa. If you could read my mind. There we go. A little bit of the Stars on 54 version of that one, darlings. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was good. Oh, it brings me back to the days when I was young and free and careless. Yes. How are we? Are we all doing good? We're going to stay with the older vibe. I'm going to stay with the older vibe for a little while. We're going to go to the 90s now with possibly a song with the greatest lyric ever in it. Yes. Now, does anybody remember a bit of Desiree? Yes. Now, this one, wait till the lyric, I'll shout it out when we're coming. It's absolutely fabulous. You couldn't have written a better song. The songwriter that wrote the lyrics for this one got paid a fortune, and you did. And it's a lot of crap. Yes, it is. Right, here we go. It's called Life. I'm afraid of the dark, especially when I'm in the park and there's no one else around. Oh, I get the shivers, and I don't want to see ghosts. It's the side that I fear most. I'd rather have a piece of toast than watch the evening news. Oh, life, oh, life, oh, life, and do. Oh, life, oh, life, do. I'm a superstitious girl, I'm the worst in the world. I never walk under ladders, oh, I keep the rabbit's tail. I'll take you up on a dare, anytime, anywhere. Name the place and I'll be there. Bungee jumping, I don't care. Life, oh, life, oh, life, oh, life, do, life, oh, life. Oh, life, oh, life, life, do. So after all said and done, I know I'm not the only one. Life It can be fun if you really want to. Sometimes living out your dreams ain't as easy as it seems. Wanna fly around the world in a beautiful balloon. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life, do-do-do-do-do. Oh life, oh life, oh life, do-do-do-do. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life, do-do-do-do-do. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life, do-do-do-do-do. Yes, I'd rather eat a piece of toast than watch the evening news. The news? Who watches the news? I don't watch the news. I'm too busy watching my bank account with all my OnlyFans money coming in. Yes. Yes. So we're going to bring it back up to date again because we probably have the younger following, hopefully online as well. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is a premiere for Miss Tissue. This is the first ever time. Now, everybody knows my act, knows that when they do it the first time, it goes totally wrong. So, why not do it online when it can be incarcerated forever to the memories of Facebook? Yes. Oh, we're going to do this one. It's the Jax Jones and Hella Anderson song. Yes, it's played on the radio all the time at the moment, and it's been giving me the right summer vibes. It is, because it is. This is. Say a prayer for me. Say a prayer for me. Got vertical falling down, 'cause you're going to my head. Cannot recognize the sound of my own heart calling. I found someone, I found somewhere that I belong, long. This is real, and you've been right here all along. This is real, and I could never get enough. And I'll be holding on, and you'll be with somebody who can give you love, never gonna give you up. And I'll be holding on, and you'll be with somebody who can give you love, never gonna give you up. Oh yeah, the energy's running high, resisting my own defense. This vision is our design. All the energy's running. I found somewhere, I found someone, I found somewhere that I belong. I found somewhere, I found someone, I found somewhere that I belong. Long. This is real, and you've been right here all along. This is real, and I could never get enough. And I'll be holding on, and you'll be with somebody who can give me love, never gonna give you up. And I'll be holding on, and you'll be with somebody who can give me love, never gonna give you up. Oh. Never gonna give, 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 never gonna give. This is real. Can you be right here all along? This is real. And I could never get enough. And I'll be holding on. And you'll be with somebody who can give you love, never gonna give you up. And I'll be holding on. And you'll be with somebody who can give you love, never gonna give you up. Oh, never gonna give. Oh, you make me feel it. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up, no. Yay! It went well, yes, we got through it. How are we? Was that a bit more modern for you all? A little bit of the Jax Jones and Ella Henderson. Absolutely storming track. And I'm sure when we all get back to the clubs, we'll all be dancing around the handbags to that one, won't we, Ritzy, darling? Yes. Oh, it's been absolutely lovely to be back with you, Peterborough. It's not as nice as it is in person, I have to say. It isn't nice. There's nothing like coming back to Peterborough. I love coming to Peterborough because we always have an absolute cracking night, don't we? You know, been at the Met Lounge and been at the Ostrich, and we always, no matter where it is, you always come out and have a good time with tissue, don't you? Because you like a bit of tissue, yes. But somebody the last time fed me lots of Sambuca, and I don't have Sambuca, and that's naughty. Yes, because naughty things happen. But now I'm teetotal. Yes. Right, we're going to slow it down a little bit with a little message next one. So we're going to go through a little Eurovision phase towards the end of the show, but we're not down quite yet because we're not quite at the end of the show. So we will be coming up to a little bit of Eurovision. So if you've missed Eurovision this year, wasn't that a tragedy? That's like gay Christmas being cancelled, isn't it? That's like saying to children, Santa Claus is dead. Yes, that's what that's like. That's how it felt. It wasn't bad enough to be in lockdown, but they cancelled Eurovision as well. But have no fear, I will be representing the UK next year. Yes, I just have to write a suitable song. Yes, do you think I should? Do you think tissue for Eurovision next year? I'd love to go to Amsterdam or Rotterdam or wherever it's going to be. It'd be lovely to have that, wouldn't it? Right, we're going to do this one. We're going to go with a bit of a boy band feel now. Does anybody remember the boy band The Wanted? Well, that's show business, isn't it? So, yes, we're going to do this one by The Wanted. I love this song, actually. Join in if you know it. You're in control, pausing pause of my heartbeat. Someone stole all the air, so I can't speak now. I know the chase is on. I feel as though the time has come. How many times do I fly through your headspace? Now it's speeding away from the safe space, yeah. Your skin, the touch, the kiss, the rush, too much in here. It comes when your lips touch mine. It's the kiss of life. I know this is a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning. We touch life like it's our first time. I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now. Whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. Just you and me and the coats in the back room, learning things they don't teach in the classroom. Now you're here, I feel the fear. Now everything is so clear. I've been addicted to you since the first hit. Out of control like a surge of electric, yeah. Your skin, the touch, the kiss, the rush, too much. And here it comes when your lips touch mine. It's a kiss of life. I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be with lightning. We touch life like it's our first time. Oh, oh, I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Your skin, the touch, the kiss, too much. The skin, the touch, the kiss, too much. The skin, the touch, the kiss, too much. The rush, the rush, the rush. When your lips touch mine, it's the kiss of life. I know it is a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning. We touch life like it's our first time. Oh, oh, I know it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now. Oh, whoa. There we go. A bit of the wanted there for all you boy band lovers out there. Yes, yes. I bet there was lots of gay men in Peterborough bopping around to that one there. Yes. Oh goodness. Do you like the hair? It's a little purple dread with my purple tartan. Yes, me being the tartan terror. Yes. Oh yes. I predict a riot. I do. I do. Oh, I can't wait, Peterborough, to come back. I really, really can't. It's been too long. It's been absolutely too long. We need to get back out and have one hell of a party. So do make sure the very first embrace back after lockdown ends and we can be together again, that you all come out and we'll have a right rave up. We will. Yes. Yes, we will. We'll have a great night. We'll get ritzy plastered and she'll fall over and fall asleep in the corner. And I'll dance around with all the gorgeous looking men in Peterborough, because there's lots of you in Peterborough, isn't there? You gorgeous men. They always come and see me. Right. So many of you might not know, but I'm getting married again. Yes, I am. I'm getting married again. I found a man with some money, so it's okay. I'm getting married, but I'm still on my OnlyFans. Don't worry, don't worry. So this one goes to my future husband. Because husbands need to know that I am a high maintenance girl. I am, yes. I like diamonds and pearls, not cheap jewellery, like my last husband bought me. But yes, I'm getting married again. The 8th time, yes. I divorced in a year and a half. I want his money. That's it. Right, we're going to do this one then. Dear future husband, here's a few things you need to know if you want to be my one and only all my life. Take me on a date, I deserve a break, and don't forget the flowers every anniversary. If you treat me right, I'll be the perfect wife. Buying groceries, buying what you need. You got the 9 to 5, but baby, so do I. So don't be thinking I'll be home and back in apple pies. I never learned to cook, but I can find a hook. Sing along with me, oh, sing along with me. Hey, you gotta know how to treat me like a lady, even when I'm acting crazy. Tell me everything's alright. Dear future husband, here's a few things you need to know if you want to be my one and only all my life. Dear future husband, if you want to get that special loving, tell me I'm beautiful each and every night. After every fight, just apologize, and maybe then I'll let you try and rock my body tight. If I was wrong, never know I'm never wrong. Why disagree? Why disagree? You gotta know how to treat me like a lady, even when I'm acting crazy. Tell me everything's alright. Dear future husband, here's a few things you need to know. If you wanna be my one and only all my life. Dear future husband, make time for me, don't leave me lonely. I know we'll never see your family more than mine. I'll be sleeping on the left side of the bed. Open doors for me and you might get some kisses. Don't have a dirty mind, just be a classy vibe. Buy me some rings, yeah, buy me some rings. You gotta know how to treat me like a lady. Even when I'm acting crazy, tell me everything's alright. Dear future husband, here's a few things you need to know. If you wanna be my one and only all my life. Dear future husband, if you wanna get that special loving, tell me I'm beautiful each and every night. Oh, on future husband, better love me right. Yay! So I'm getting married again. More fool than ex-man, isn't it? Yeah. So sorry, boys, if you're sitting at home and thinking she's a stunner, you're just going to have to settle for Ritzy crackers. Yes. And she's high maintenance, let me tell you. Yes. The orange juice. Well, I did promise you some Eurovision. So we're going to do double Eurovision to end this show tonight, I think. Double Eurovision, because that lasts a bit. Oh no, we'll not. We'll do double Eurovision, but we'll do this one first. We're going to go bang, 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 end it at 7 o'clock, and then I'm handing you over, I think, to a fantastic DJ who I heard actually play. I think she played when I was on stage, when I'd been roped in by Linda Bacardi. That's the beauty of online performances. At least Linda Bacardi can't hijack you onto a pride stage and say, let's sing Suddenly Seymour, like last year. So there'll be a wonderful DJ coming up after my show. So do stay tuned and stay with Embrace Events. What a wonderful job we've done. Well done to Ritzy and all the Disco Dollies and all the Embrace Events team. You've done a great show this week. Love to you from Great Yarmouth, and on behalf of Great Yarmouth Pride, who I'm Vice Chair with. You've had Eva Genitalia this week as well. It's lovely to work with Peterborough. You're not that far away distance-wise, and it's lovely to see your Pride, as well as being a baby Pride, is also growing. And I wish you all the very, very best. Everyone in Peterborough, mwah to you. So we're going to do these ones. We're going to finish with Kelly Clarkson, then a couple of Eurovision songs, and we're going to bang, bang, bang. So this one is called Mr. Know-It-All. Mr. Know-It-All, well, you think you know it all, but you don't know a thing at all, ain't it? Ain't it something, y'all, when somebody tells you something about you, think that they know you more than you do, so you take it down the bill to swallow. Mr. Bring Me Down, well, you like to bring me down, don't you? But I ain't laying down, baby. I ain't going down, cause nobody tell me how it's gonna be. Nobody's gonna make a fool of me, and it, so I need not follow. Oh, you think that you know me, that's why I'm leaving you lonely, cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. You ain't got the right to tell me where to go, the right to tell me I'd like you own me, baby. Yeah, baby, you don't know a thing about me. And you don't know a thing about me. Mr. Play Your Games, only got yourself to blame when you want me back again, but I ain't falling back again, cause I'm living my truth without your lies. Let's be clear, baby, this is goodbye. I ain't coming back tomorrow. Oh, you think that you know me, that's why I'm leaving you lonely, cause baby, you don't know a thing You don't know a thing about me. You ain't got the right to tell me where we're going, the right to tell me, acting like you own me lately. Yeah, baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. So what? You got the world at your feet and you know everything about everything, but you don't. You still think I'm coming back, but baby, you'll see. Yeah, oh, you think that you know me. That's why I'm leaving you lonely. 'Cause baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. You ain't got the right to tell me where we're going, the right to tell me acting like you own me lately. Yeah, baby, you don't know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. Mr. Know-it-all, well, you think you know it all, but you don't know a thing at all, ain't it? Yeah, baby, you know a thing about me. You don't know a thing about me. Oh, thank you. So here we go into the Eurovision section to end the show. It's been a wonderful time with you, Embrace Peterborough. Peterborough Pride, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And I will see you real soon as we can be all connected once more. We'll be back together enjoying our regular nights. And I can't wait to be back and amongst the Peterborough community, sharing the love. Yes. So we're going to do this one, talking about love. It is the last UK winner of Eurovision. Yes, a little bit of Katrina and the Waves. You know, the last time we won in God knows how many years ago, but it goes like this. Love shine a light in every corner of our hearts. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry. Light up the magic in every little part. Let our love shine a light in every corner of our hearts. Love shine a light in every corner of my dreams. Let the love light carry, let the love light carry. The mighty river flowing from the stream. Let our love shine a light in every corner of my dreams. And we're all gonna shine a light together. Oh, shine a light to light the way. And brothers and sisters in every little part, let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. Love to you all, Peterborough. Let that love shine. Fly that rainbow flag in transparent. Let's see you all soon. Love shine a light in every corner of the world. Let the love light carry. Let the love light carry. Light up the magic for every boy or girl. Let our love shine a light in every corner of the world. And we're all gonna shine a light together. Oh, shine a light to light the way. Brothers and sisters in every little part, let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. We're all gonna shine a light together. Oh, shine a light to light the way. Brothers and sisters in every little part, let our love shine a light in every corner of our heart. shine a light in every corner of our heart. Oh, Peterborough, I miss you so much. I really do. I really do. But I'm going to leave you with quite possibly the best ever Eurovision hit. It is the one and only Loreen. Oh, Ritzy, am I out of time, my love? I'll leave it.
No, one more, baby. You're okay.
I'm okay. Okay, we're going to do the Loreen It Is Euphoria. It is probably the biggest, gayest ever Eurovision song that we can hear in the clubs. Ritzy, thank you for having me, my darling. You're absolutely stunning. I've had a wonderful time.
Thank you for being part, darling. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we will see you all in Peterborough very, very soon. But until then, I'm going to leave you with this one. It is the Swedish winner. It's Loreen. Why can this moment last for? And there it is an open door. No, don't ever stop doing the things you do. Don't go. In every breath I breathe, I'm breathing you. Euphoria, forever till the end of time. From now on, only you and I. We're going up, 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 up. Euphoria, an everlasting peace of heart. A beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. We are here. We're all alone in our own universe. We are free, where everything's allowed and love comes first. Forever and ever together, we're sailing to infinity. We're higher and higher and higher, we're reaching for divinity. Oh, euphoria, forever till the end of euphoria, an everlasting peace of heart. A beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. Forever, we sail into infinity. We're higher, we're reaching for divinity. Euphoria. Euphoria, we're going up, 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 up. Euphoria, an everlasting peace of heart, a beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. Euphoria. For euphoria, we're going up, 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 up. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Pride. Love you all. Mwah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now,
Yeah.
my love.
Yeah, thank you so much, darling. Thank you for taking part in our virtual online Pride. Like you said, when we reopen again at the Ostrich Inn, you would be the first person I'm going to call to come and celebrate with us.
We will be having a massive party, boys and girls. So
we
as
will.
soon as it's announced, get the dates down and we'll all down. Let's pack it out in the Ostrich.
Cool. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the DJ. Have fun tomorrow as well. I can't wait to see your parade.
We're going to take lots of pictures and film it. Bye-bye, babes. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay. Oh. Do you want me to my live now, just me? Hi, everyone. Well, that's it for our online virtual Pride. For today, this week, we've come to the end of our show. apart from tomorrow, and DJ Amy, yes, I'm going to get there. Apart from the end of our show on our live stream here, we're finished at 7. I'm just going to go over and thank everybody who has been a part of our online virtual Pride this week. Firstly, I'd like to thank Teddy, the drag queen, for hosting Monday, and Phoenix Hart, who was also on Monday. And I'd like to thank Jane Ozanne and Lucy and Bonnie for their song that they wrote for Pride this year. We will be posting that out again on our page. I'd also like to thank Susie Irons, Fizz Wallace and the Fizz Wallace and her band, and Eva Genitalia, thank you, darling. Ed G. Teen, thank you, Mama Bear. Thank you, Charlie Geneve, for your lovely poem that we showed. Thank you, Che Brown from Transactual, who did a live Zoom meeting on Wednesday. Thank you to Crystal Destiny, the youngest drag queen we have in Peterborough, UK. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you, Proud Mary, for entertaining us on Thursday, along with Crystal Destiny, who was on before her. Thank you to DJ Tragic Campbell for Camp Disco we had on Thursday. Friday, we had Electric Blue, who was supposed to be on, but unfortunately she hurt herself falling down the step at the front of the house. So we're sending her lots of love and hope she has a speedy recovery. And you will be one of the queens, one of the first, along with Tissue, that we're obviously going to invite back to the Ostrich Inn once we're allowed to gather and socialise. Thank you, DJ Alyssa, for playing us out last night. Your set was absolutely amazing. And for today, thank you, Linda Bacardi, coming to us live from Brighton. And a huge, massive thank you to the one and only Tissue, who's come to us live from the East Coast in Great Yarmouth. If it wasn't for Tissue, none of our acts, we wouldn't have had any of our acts that any of you may have seen at the Ostrich Inn, because she's the one who's helped us and provide them for us. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my team here, Papa Bear, who I wouldn't have been able to have done this without, and Mama Bear with all the tech stuff. Both of you have done a remarkable and amazing job, considering we're doing it from phones, laptops, and things that was found in a box in the cupboard that our tech guys have, lovely Papa Bear. So, yeah, we do apologise for any of the sound that may have been a bit distorted this week, but we have done the best to our capability of what we can do with what we've got under the circumstances of COVID-19. Unfortunately, like you said, we were unable to have a parade this year, but we have got a car convoy coming up tomorrow from 1 o'clock in the Key Theatre car park. If people want to start getting there before that, get your cars ready, but please do stick to your own cars. Do not mingle with each other, because obviously that is not allowed at the minute. So if you're in a bubble of people and you know someone in your bubble who drives a car and there's enough room for you all to go in there, that'd be great. We'll see you tomorrow. And to play us out, we're going to have a little look back at a memory from last year, which obviously today would have been our parade march and our street party on Bridge Street. Not Bridge Street, sorry, on Cathedral Square, as we're going to plan to have this year. So we're just going to play you out with a little memory from last year and how much fun it all was from the parade. Enjoy, and I'll see you tomorrow in the car park. Bye.